Be prepared and mentally prepare yourself, maybe with the videos in this series that have come thus far, because it will be very, very difficult. You'll want to quit and your progress will be slow. I slept better last night because yesterday evening I got good exercise. I was sweating it out. I'm more alert and engaged today because of that. I'll drink more water today and generally feel better because of that exercise yesterday. I feel sore, but somehow still better. I'll be able to cope a little easier today with being alone because last evening I was just up close and personal with four, no, actually five different people. I'll not be preoccupied with everything I didn't get done, but about the few areas in which I was successful this week. I'll remember the encouragement that somebody else gave me after we did a roll. Sweating it out is a good thing. Now, you might already have a physical outlet that works for you. If so, yes and amen. Keep up with it. If you've already found something you're able to do consistently. If you don't yet have something to keep yourself in shape and to relieve stress, I highly, highly recommend trying out Jiu Jitsu. Now, if you live in a larger city, there are probably multiple places for you to train. So just ask around and find a good fit. Be prepared and mentally prepare yourself, maybe with the videos in this series that have come thus far, because it will be very, very difficult. You'll want to quit and your progress will be slow. So, how can you go about doing that? So, first off, if you do try jujitsu or any martial art, show up with humble, realistic expectations. You're a brand new white belt, you're a greenhorn, you're a newbie, you're a fledgling. Your character and body is about to be tested. And most of the regulars there, the established white belts, the higher belts, probably believe you're just going to quit within 3 months or less. So they're not going to be as socially engaged with you, even though they'll be friendly, until you consistently show up and prove yourself. You're going to feel physically awful. And because of how you'll feel, you will want to quit. Simple. Don't quit. Keep showing up as much as you can tolerate it physically and mentally. So, why should you do this? I've had very depressing weeks since my divorce that might have been, I don't know, but might have been unbearable if I didn't have this physical outlet and social connection point. It's a discipline, remember. It will humble you because that's the nature of a true discipline to something that you desire to perfect and get better at. But at bottom, I'm just another guy trying his best not to quit this discipline this week. Stick it out. Forget about the higher belts who own and dominate you every time you roll because they've earned their abilities in the same way you're now progressively earning yours. So don't let that fact, the fact that you're getting physically dominated, depress you because there'll always be somebody better, stronger, and faster than you. It's true for you, but guess what? It's also true for that purple belt or brown belt who seems, unconquerable. And take it as a lesson. Right? Metaphorically, in your divorce, life just submitted you and you had to tap. Life submitted you in a pretty rough and dirty way. How you handle getting physically dominated and surviving will teach you how to handle almost any difficult situation in your life because the categories are the same. It's merely a different context. Now, aside from the physical and mental benefits you get from this, which I think are their own justification, I believe that everybody gets at least one surprising revelation about themselves from doing a martial art. This is also, I think, what keeps a person curiously evolving and getting better over the years. Because at bottom, you might feel bored, but how can you do the same basic things hundreds of times in drilling in repetition without losing an interest in it? Well, because you've changed within the process of this discipline and exercise. You're different now because this process of exercise has changed how you perceive and now interpret even the most fundamental movements. You see more and you see differently. The same experience is, in some sense, new each day to the one who's engaged. This is how you know you're making progress because you don't get bored when you're growing and progressing. So let me give a personal example of a surprising revelation I got because of the benefit, psychologically, spiritual, of this kind of training. I had been told over the course of my life that I was an angry, aggressive, and prideful man. Right? This is the feminist woke narrative over the life of any good, strong man. They want to deceive you into thinking that because you're a man and because you want to act like a man, you're toxically masculine. And so they're going to label you as a angry, aggressive, prideful, whatever. And the reality is for me, maybe not for you, I had internalized most of this feedback and I eventually ended up consciously or unconsciously believing most of it. Now, here's the revelation. After 6 months of consistently doing jujitsu, I was given the consistent constructive feedback that I was a calm, conscientious, and gentle training partner. And they treated me like that without qualification. They respected me in that identity. Now, this was coming from experts in their field, we might say, people who had committed, in some instances, a lifetime to grappling and jujitsu. So this had a surprising impact on other areas of my life. Now, be prepared. Revelations about yourself will naturally encourage you in the right direction in life. This is who I am. This is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. Revelations will do that. At the same time, these revelations, because they subvert false narratives, carry the capacity to completely mess up your existing life. The context for this training actually allowed me to stop believing untrue and unhelpful lies about myself. And in the process of that, it also gave me both physical and psychological confidence because I was looking better and feeling better. That consequently heightened the already existing conflict in my marriage. Your own blind spots and insecurities will always be used by other people to weaken and manipulate you. So, jujitsu, in a strange and unexpected way, helped me both spot gaslighting and deception around me and to counteract it with calm confidence. Needless to say, surprising revelations about yourself are blessings that also have the built in consequence of upsetting the current status quo of your life. So, all that to say, I'll wrap up. Personal insights and martial arts aside, as a man, you need some form of regular physical exercise. I think it's a non negotiable for a man who wants to be his best self and to become a better man, a good man. You need to exert yourself and sweat, right? As Vince Lombardi would say, the good Lord gave you a body that can withstand almost anything. It's your mind you have to convince, right? Which is why this is under the mental battle series. Now, if you can do this with something like jujitsu or another martial art, if you can do this in a supportive community, I think it's even better because those relational connections will keep you coming back more regularly. So find something to keep yourself moving at least 2 or 3 days a week. Keep yourself in decent shape and eat decently enough to not get too fat. And you'll be surprised in this process of sweating it out how quickly negative thoughts for you will lessen and your sleep will improve and your appetite will improve when you develop this type of discipline. So my advice, brother, at bottom, sweat it out, hang in there, don't quit, find something you do consistently and keep on doing it. All right, I hope that was a benefit. Thanks for listening, y'all.